battlefield. With 130mm of penetration and 300 average damage, and over 6 rounds a minute rate of fire, the armor itself is surprisingly squishy. You have 70-75mm of rather flat armor pretty much all around, which means that a lot of the same and even some of the lower tier machines will have, well, not really a problem getting through you. Which makes the positioning of the OI Experimental probably the most important thing that it can do to preserve its health. Ifti, on the other hand, not interested in cowering in the back, and he charges forward on the banana road into the enemy heavies. Now that OI Experimental took a pretty good shot, although I have to say most of the shots in this game will be low rolls. And, oh, it's an unfortunate bounce. So this is a very, very aggressive move here from Ifti, but as we will see, it will play out pretty well. That's a better hit, 290 damage, and that enemy OI Experimental is almost reduced to nothing. Now we have to be careful, especially about the M4. That guy will be able to pen us really reliably. Big snapshot there into the enemy OI Experimental, and that's one very dangerous gun out of the game. Now you will see Ifti here aim pretty much all throughout this game in third-person mode. It's something that I wouldn't really recommend doing. Zooming in and aiming for the enemy will be just a whole lot more reliable. But as for the results for this game, look at this. 0 shits given. Goes after the M4, completely ignores the M3 Lee. Unfortunately puts a few rounds into us. And then goes into cover. Look at all this team, all covering behind the OI Experimental. Come on, go around, boys. Don't really want to poke in front of the DW2 and the Type 91. While those guys can be squished really easily by us, we are down to 138 HP already. Although, at the same time, we did over 1200 damage as well to the enemy team. Absolute madness. Now, I have to say that Ifti is going AFK here a little bit. I don't know why. It could be internet problems, it could be maybe real life getting into the way of gaming, as it usually does. But we are back in action. And just in time too, because this match seems to be rather close. We have the upper hand here, going by 1. But the team is a little bit divided. And the enemy is pretty well spread out on the map as well, which could be trouble. Also, there is still 3 of the 3 very dangerous machines alive on the enemy team. The enemy OI Experimental, the T-34 and... wow, well... I would say that was completely unnecessary, but no, that was pretty hilarious. Oh boy, Type 91. Goodbye. So, as I was saying, the T-34 on the enemy team is already on 5 kills, the T-67 probably rubbing his hands with glee as well, and whoa, what's coming around that corner. I think we have found ourselves one of the main threats on the enemy team. Remaining enemy OI Experimental. As for the M5 Stuart, well, good luck, buddy. We will squish you to death with our ass if you are not careful. Well, that guy didn't really have much of a chance, unlike the OI Experimental, but lucky for us the KV-1 completely distracts him, and that gives us plenty of time to reload and put a huge round into its side. Now, let's assess the situation. We are quite low health, if I'm not mistaken. The KV-1 is as well, and the Stug 3 is a one-shot too, so while we have the upper hand, we are up against a T-67, and if that guy is a competent player, we could be in a lot of trouble here. As for the BT-7, well, he's on 3 kills, so probably he knows what he's doing. That guy is, well, less of a threat really. So, now comes the age-old question, what do we do? Unfortunately, the team decides to split up. The KV-1 is actually on half-half, but he is going rather so slow, so either he's not fully upgraded, or maybe tracks or the engine have been damaged. So Ifti and the Stuk decide to go around the cap where the enemy have been last spotted, but then suddenly the BT-7 appears around our own cap circle, and there is the T-67 as well, and that's really bad news. These guys will gang up on the KV-1, who is going down really fast. So suddenly the scores are even, and they are capping as well, so that's a really tricky situation. Plus we have been caught in the middle. Now we managed to take a shot from the BT-7, and well, that guy tries to be cheeky.